Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
ROMEOs.
How are we doing today?
Very good.
Wonderful. Good. It's
Good
a
to be
Romeo
here.
day. How can you not be good when it's a Romeo day?
But Aki, isn't every day a Romeo day?
Every day is a Romeo day.
Which means you're always doing well.
I'm always doing well. I'm always chill. I'm always ready to do battle and tackle those vexing questions that hold back mankind.
Well, okay. So I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome back our viewers and listeners and hope that they're doing well
Welcome back.
also on this fine day.
Thanks for joining us.
Joining us, yes. And what else do we want to convey?
I think that our listeners and viewers should be liking and subscribing because we would like that very much. So let's stop begging like we've been doing for like 30 some odd episodes.
Well, the tone and language you've been using.
Just fucking get off your asses and
There
subscribe.
we go. He
Yeah,
can't help
damn it.
himself. He
Off the
cannot help
rails.
himself.
We went
My
off the
goodness.
rails. Not even started our topic.
And thank you
Already
when
off
you do
the
that.
rails. Thank you. And people have been responding lately, so that's really nice to see. It's very encouraging and it's very educational as well. So we appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks.
That's the way you do it.
And this is coming from the guy who gets most of the hate comments.
The forgiving soul that I am.
That's
The
right.
thick-skinned, forgiving soul that you are.
Okay, let's see what the hour will bring.
Okay.
There we go. So,
guys, how about we talk about cryptocurrency today?
Oh.
And the legitimate, more specifically, the
Good.
legitimacy of cryptocurrency.
I better take my notebook out, and I want to take notes
Dogecoin.
because I need to be educated about this. And I have some thoughts about this. But
Where do you keep that notebook?
the research department, the Romeo research department, very safe place, very warm and safe,
Okay.
state of the art all the way. Yes.
Hey, are you guys good with that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure.
I like to hear you guys. You're the finance guys, so I really like to
Who-
get
where-
into this.
how
with you
did we
guys.
become the
You're
finance
the money
guys?
people. We know. Our
the money
viewers
people.
know the money people. You
Okay.
understand these
And-
things.
and what does that make you,
You love
Aki?
capitalism. I'm the progressive. I'm the people's voice. The voice for the working people.
Maybe you and other progressives would benefit from delving a little more into finance.
Okay.
So
Well-
should we start with some definitions, even if they're high level?
yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Oh, you want me to go for it?
Yeah, we'll go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So,
You could pass it on if you like.
well, no, that's fine. I was just thinking that you guys would win. So cryptocurrency, essentially a digital form of currency that also makes use of cryptography to ensure that its security is maintained through myriad transactions,
Network-based.
network-based, and oftentimes associated with blockchain technology, which is a system which records transactions in a peer-to-peer network
Decentralized.
in a decentralized, so peer-to-peer, decentralized fashion. So we'll start with those basic definitions, if you
Right.
guys are okay with it.
Yeah.
And it
And
was
of
based
course-
on work. So it was based on work accomplished by helping the transactions.
Can I
essentially.
ask a very basic question?
Sure.
Okay. So my currency, by definition, right, is backed up by something tangible, an economic output, something financial, tangible. Correct.
Cryptocurrency is based on nothing.
So,
Well, it's not that it's based on nothing.
Like,
No, it's not that it's based on nothing.
That's my opinion, by the way.
So I'm going to have a different opinion.
Good.
What I will say is irrefutable is that it is non-regulated. So when we think of currency, we think of the world's currency. They tend to be regulated generally by
the
central banks
of that
are
country.
country specific. There is an exception. The European Union has its own central bank, which represents, of course, all member countries
states, yeah.
of the Union. And so cryptocurrency doesn't fit that definition.
But isn't cryptocurrency just the definition an oxymoron? Again, how can you have digital currency? I don't understand the concept of a digital
Aki,
currency.
Think of it this way.
Why?
Currency is imparted value by people who use it. If we used shoes as currency, as long as everyone on the planet at some point got hypnotized and decided that shoes were a currency, it would be currency.
Well,
currency is what people make it.
But in
But
the
you also
days
have a
of,
shoe,
But
yeah.
in the days of barter systems, goods and services were exchanged. When monetary units came into play, it was a new paradigm. And so goods and services were provided in exchange for monetary units. Cryptocurrency is simply a monetary unit, right, in large part, that is in digital form. So there's no paper, there's no coins. It's in a digital form. There's
it-
absolutely
which is-
nothing wrong
But
with that.
beyond that, it's created out of nothing. It's created either out of
All monetary
I
units are
understand.
created of nothing. It's all man-made.
But to his point, currency is backed by the
Thank you.
GDP of a country. It's
Tangible, measurable outcome.
Cryptocurrencies are global.
yes, I know, but
they-
it's not based on anything.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It
Thank
is
you.
based
All right.
on something.
No, it's based
Well,
on nothing.
clearly,
it's
some of
based on
them-
computer cycles that someone did to come out with an outcome that was now chosen as the next piece of the blockchain.
That is something.
That's Bitcoin anyway. That I understand.
Well, that is something.
yeah, but again,
It's like saying gold is based
Yeah.
on nothing.
it's like a perpetual. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but Pat, look, the traditional currency today, it is digital. Paychecks are deposited digitally. You spend digitally. Like, what I find ironic about crypto is that it's not backed. It's measured against traditional currency. You want to buy one Bitcoin, it's 90,000 US. You know, it's like,
Apparently.
yeah, exactly, something like that. I just took a number.
Well,
it's
I'm
about
sorry,
that
guys.
now, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, because there are stores of value. If we think of precious metals, for instance, that fall into exactly the same
That's
category.
what I told Aki.
So I just want to come back to the original question, and then we can get into our opinions and deep thought. So, legitimate or not?
I think absolutely not. That's why I said it's not real.
Okay,
yeah, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
absolutely is.
Okay.
All right.
So let's have a nice discussion.
Pile on.
Pile on.
You're the Aki of today.
Well, I mean, I can tell you why.
There's no need to get nasty with me.
You want a helmet?
You are on that side of
I'm
the
gonna need
table.
more.
You are on the left
Full
side of the
armor
table.
coat.
Pat, you're on the left side of the table.
I'm in the middle of
All
the
right.
table.
I like the way this is starting.
My reasoning is that any government can come up with their own. If they did, why do we need all the other ones?
So governments have been talking about putting up their own
Well,
digital
they
currencies.
should.
And
They should.
so, again, currency and anything used for trade has value based on what people put into that value. At any point, if there's a worldwide lack of support behind a coin, whether it be Bitcoin or another one, Ethereum, whatever, which anyway, we can talk about that a little bit later. But any of the coins that are out there, if there's a lack of trust at any point, it'll tumble to zero or near zero.
That happens to.
It won't happen to the
it
US
happens-
dollar.
Okay, the US dollar. But
It
there
won't
are
happen to the
there
Canadian
are other
dollar.
currencies.
It won't happen to the
There
peso.
are other
It'll
currencies
go
that have
down.
seen their value erode to
Yeah, of
virtually
course.
nothing.
But that's because the country that's backing them has had major issues.
Fine, and we've seen. So, look, you want to talk about the volatility of cryptocurrency? I'm
that's-
with you.
But there's economics behind those currencies. There's no economics behind
What
Bitcoin.
are the economics behind stores of value like gold?
Well, gold is used in industry as well. So it's not just a piece of metal,
Well,
a hunk of metal.
cryptocurrency is used today. So
yeah, but
it's used
by
criminal
criminals.
actors. Well, but that's legitimate.
But
what I'm saying
That's
is
not legitimate. That's
it is
against
legit.
the law.
No, it's criminal, but it's legitimate.
But Pat,
But-
the problem that I have with crypto is that one of the things that everybody says, it's limited in quantity. What does that mean? Because it is limited in quantity.
It's a finite resource.
exactly.
Yeah, but you can have the splitting.
The same is true of other monetary units, which is why when countries
Print
or the
money.
European Union print money, what happens to the value of that currency?
Exactly.
Okay, but
So and what we've seen is that there are huge economic implications for relatively few of today's cryptocurrencies. Most cryptocurrencies today have virtually no value.
Yeah.
There is one that stands out, and there are a few others that are, I'm going to say, relevant based on how they're used.
Yeah.
But there's one that stands out above all others, and that's Bitcoin
And the
for
first
a
one.
number of reasons.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that it is what it is because it was necessarily the first.
Okay, we can argue that, but it was the first one. and it's
dominant.
large.
It is the dominant cryptocurrency.
There are cryptos that are backed. They have a different term for them. I forget what they're called, but some
Well,
of the,
they're also pegged to the US dollar.
Yeah.
There's a few I think that
Yeah.
are pegged to actual
But I still,
currencies.
guys, coming back to the core discussion point.
Yes.
What is the the backing of cryptocurrency. So even if you talk about
It's
precious,
speculative.
precious metals, gold, there's tangible. There's a tangible gold. There's bullion. There's a tangible, physical, valuable item that you can have possession of.
Well, it's
but
used
what's
in
Bitcoin's?
manufacturing.
What's Bitcoin's equivalent?
Why are you looking for an equivalent? We live in a world in which we're increasingly going to see.
Because isn't that the basic rule of economics?
No, it's not the basic rule of economics.
That,
Where does
you know-
that come from?
Well,
Well, monetary policy is tied to economics, GDP of countries.
Exactly.
And
Output.
printing of money.
Monetary
Printing-
policy
yes.
and monetary units
Yes.
are all man-made
Yes,
creations.
yes. We're not arguing with you.
Bitcoin is a man-made creation, and
not-
so it's a digital.
We're not arguing.
So it's a digital currency.
Yes, it is. But
that-
what is
that-
it based on?
That sufficient entities around the world have attached value to.
okay, so to follow your logic,
Yes, and sorry, but if
Some-
sufficient
some countries-
entities take that value away, what happens to that currency?
It's volatile by definition. By definition, it becomes less.
Yes,
It's worth less or worthless.
yes, exactly, and that volatility comes because it's not really pegged to anything. It's not pegged to an economic output of a country. It's not pegged to
We're
monetary
thinking in
policy.
traditional terms. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter.
I think it
so.
does.
If people have a high risk tolerance level,
Okay, fair. So
Right?
it's speculative, is what you're saying.
of course it's speculative.
Okay, but should currency be speculative? Currency should not be speculative, in my opinion. It should be.
That's
and
and
that
that
is
is boring. And so it is speculative to some degree.
Okay.
Anyway, every day we see the value of various monetary units
that
around
go
the
up
world
by 1%
fluctuate.
or half a
Well,
percent.
there's all
So
these
they're not
foreign
they're not
exchange
they're not
contracts.
as volatile. They're much more well established.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that it makes cryptocurrency illegitimate.
so basically,
It's being used today. Some countries have recognized it as a monetary unit. They allow trade with the use of Bitcoin. There are businesses that have attempted to do the same thing. It's prevalent today in criminal and transactions involving the criminal elements
Yes.
on a global basis.
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Right? So-
which is a good thing, right? Or what?
I'm not saying it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is this is what is happening. In other words, it has been legitimized. It's
By
being
criminals.
used, and there's a growing number of people who are investing in it as a store of value, in the same way as they may have invested in precious metals historically.
So you like Warren Buffett, right?
Yes, I respect
You
him
respect-
tremendously.
And what do you know? What his view of cryptocurrency?
He doesn't
I do.
understand it.
Okay, so why?
No,
So how-
listen.
No, he
Listen,
does.
he's forgotten more than we'll ever understand.
Yeah.
So no, I think what he's saying.
is what I'm saying has no value. It's not based on anything.
No,
That's
I
what
never
we
heard
say.
it. I didn't hear him say it has no value. What I've heard him say, okay, Charlie Munger,
God
may he
rest his
rest in
soul.
peace, may he rest in peace, called it rat poison. Okay?
Okay.
And I don't disagree with that statement.
So
One has nothing to do with the other.
So
what I'm saying is that as much as I have never invested in cryptocurrency,
okay.
I would not buy a Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Because I don't have a tolerance, a risk tolerance,
for volatility of that.
or a level of greed that drives me in that direction.
Okay.
But by the way, I don't invest in precious metals.
Right. Okay.
I don't.
Neither do I.
Just so we are clear, so what you're arguing is that basically when you have a situation when there's a market for any form of currency, regardless of what that form might be, that's legitimate. That constitutes a currency. So if you have a
Well, by
market,
def-
if you have a market
Aki.
for toothpicks then can become a currency.
Aki.
Listen, when the
Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is,
Well, that's by definition true.
Yes, and by the
I know, but isn't that ludicrous?
No,
it's not ludicrous.
That's why I said in the beginning, definition of a currency is what people put value on.
Yes, but there's measurable value, economic
are.
activity.
There is
So now you're
economic
talking about
activity.
monetary policy and the backing of currencies. Let's separate things, okay? Let's separate what is a currency. A currency is anything that someone gives value to.
Well, the initial currency of Canada, wasn't it beaver pelts?
Yeah. We've got lots of beaver in Canada.
Okay.
Come on up.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. But again, beaver pelts, again, tangible item, tangible, marketable item that you possess
That you possess and you stroke.
and you caress. That's what you mean. But we digress.
Aki, you,
So that's what I'm saying.
You have to think in this day and age that anything that takes a digital form and solely a digital form
Is the equivalent?
can still be recognized as having value.
Look at
You
NFTs.
you don't need to have a painting hanging on your wall.
You can have a
You don't-
banana.
well, that's what I mean,
Duct
but-
taped to your wall. That's
But
$6
that- but
million.
that's
If somebody
dollars.
perceives value,
Well, that's what I mean. Currency is
because
anything that has.
That's voodoo
so
economics.
I'm going
paraphrase.
to add another element to the discussion.
You're
to-
mixing up currency and economic and monetary policy. Separate them.
I just can't understand like any currency or any
Just
like any valuable economic tool not being backed up by
Put-
anything concrete.
Put economy out of it.
just being
Do not-
purely digital. I don't understand
Aki,
that.
just take economy and monetary policy out of it. Do not think about
Okay,
trade.
let's take it-
Don't think about anything
Right.
besides human beings all deciding,
Right.
8 billion people
Okay,
deciding that this
hold
thing
on,
now
hold
has
on,
value.
Hold on. I want you to expand your mind. The piece of plastic you hold in your wallet called a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
How valuable is that piece of plastic?
Well, it's based
No,
on
how valuable is that piece of plastic?
plastic is zero value.
What's a
Okay.
credit? What's a credit?
By the
limit?
way, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
You could
Okay.
use your phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
we watch.
But there is something
it.
in the background
Yeah, thank you.
that provides economic value.
Yes.
Something doesn't have to take a physical form. It doesn't have to be an object or something that you can physically hold in your hand in order for it to have value.
No, but
Yeah, exactly.
Except that
And
that credit card is backed up by traditional currency.
Guys,
No, but he's listen.
traditional currency. So
Well,
the fact that
separate-
the fact that some of the leading governments worldwide are now looking at ways to do two things. One is to regulate. They want to bring regulation, much I'm sure this will be a happy development for you, to the world of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin very specifically. The other thing is that they're exploring ways to issue their own digital currencies. Why? Because they want to be at the party, right? They want to make sure that they wrap their arms around it.
That's about control.
Control,
Yeah.
but it gives legitimacy to what's going on in the world of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, there's banks now that have
Is there any doubt in your mind? So, in the same way as some people until recently were saying, well, it's really not legitimate, but I do believe in blockchain. If you believe in blockchain,
Blockchain is a ledger system that's
then you have-
decentralized. That's all it is.
then you have to give credence to the value of crypto and legitimacy of
No,
cryptocurrency
one
because
does
that's the way in which most of these blockchains are going to be put into action.
Okay, but you're describing the mechanism versus the value of the result. I'm
It
sorry, but
has
they're two separate
value.
things.
Today, in the world today, people are trading goods and services
I'm not arguing with you because
for crypto.
because people have put value on it. That's what I'm trying to say. Currency is what people put value
That
on.
makes it legitimate.
It makes it legitimate for now until people decide otherwise.
The question,
and that's the speculation
The
part.
question today was: is it legitimate?
Well, people have made it legitimate. Is the answer as far as I can tell. That's the reality. But my view of the fact that it's not based on anything is that legitimacy can change overnight, which it has on multiple.
But all you're saying is that it's extremely volatile, and I
which
don't-
makes it illegitimate in my view. That's all I'm saying.
How does volatility equate to legitimacy?
If I have $10 million in the bank and tomorrow it's going to be $300,000,
Yes.
then that's an issue because I can't plan with that. I can't. It doesn't fulfill the stuff that for me, what money in my mind should fulfill for me, because it is so damn speculative that it can be erased.
So you're speaking
Virtually erased.
to your tolerance to risk.
Correct, but that's to me. It's my opinion. I'm not saying this is what the world thinks.
I fail to understand the connection between that risk tolerance and legitimacy.
because a currency that's legitimate would not erase 90% of its value overnight.
And to me, it's not legitimate because it contravenes all regulations and laws of a country. It's to get around it.
He wants regulations.
So,
No, it's not that.
so
It's like-
do you agree that governments are very slow to act or react to innovation?
Extremely.
Here's an example of where that may again be true.
Because,
That's fair.
they're using it, criminals, so they're not taxed on it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
If it wasn't legitimate, if it wasn't so widespread, if there wasn't so much crime, corruption, and issues surrounding cryptocurrencies, governments would be uninterested.
Okay.
Which they were for the longest time.
Okay, so let me give you a
Now suddenly they're keenly interested.
Okay.
In fact, you have, I look at the US as an example. You have different factions that are fighting over who should be regulating cryptocurrencies, right? Because they all want their name on the plaque on the wall. This is the individual who came in and brought regulation to this industry.
Look, reasonable.
All signs that this is legitimate.
I'm very happy that we are to the point where we all agree around reasonable regulation. Very happy about that. I'm so comfortable about that. But I just want to go back. I want to go back to a scenario. So would you accept any of us? No, I don't. I wouldn't. But if you were to sell your house, would you accept payment of your house in Bitcoin?
Yeah, but he already said he wouldn't.
I'm not saying. I mean, just saying. What would be?
Of course not.
I mean, for people who are in Bitcoin right now,
It's speculative. It's highly speculative.
So why would that?
Or
I mean,
criminal.
If there is that value to it and there's that legitimacy to it, why would you not sell your house for Bitcoin?
You could, but you're taking a huge risk.
Most people do not have that tolerance for risk. They don't.
And they don't understand how the wallets work.
It's very highly concentrated. Very highly concentrated.
Well, I'm old school, guys. If it's not tangible,
But look at how the Wall Street community has rallied around. Some were early participants.
Yeah.
So either they had a vision that others didn't have, they had a higher risk tolerance. There may be a myriad reasons why they got involved. But today, some of the biggest names on Wall Street are rallying around this and investing and giving the average investor some means through which they can acquire cryptocurrencies.
Well, you can invest in like Coinbase or something.
All the opportunists are out there now.
Yeah, this sounds to me like that banana with the duct tape. That's the millions of dollars banana with the duct tape. That's exactly the financial equivalent of that.
Well, okay. We need to separate a few, again. I keep saying the same thing. Let's separate.
There's some things that are
currency.
inseparable in my mind.
Well, okay, but you're not the rest of the world, right? You're that's your opinion, and that's fair. Again, I think because of the speculative nature of this thing, because it's not really based on anything.
But you said earlier you were also questioning what is it pegged to? That was an issue for you.
It's not pegged to anything.
Right, and isn't that an issue for you?
It's freely traded. Again, none of that is the issue. My issue is the speculative nature and the fact that as soon as the world decides that this is not a currency that they want to use, it's going to tumble down to near zero or very low. And if you have the stomach to see your $10 million go down to $300,000, as I said before, and you're okay with that, then God bless you. Go ahead and do it.
But Nuran,
to me, sorry, just to play devil's advocate. So I don't disagree with anything you said.
Yeah.
But that coin, but has two sides.
Yeah, one's Ethereum.
So in the same way as the value of a cryptocurrency can go from whatever it is today to nothing.
It could skyrocket.
It could skyrocket.
Yeah, again, highly speculative.
Highly speculative, highly volatile.
But Nuran, I mean, most
people don't have an appetite
right,
for that.
but if that's where that's the criticism that really stops you from embarking on the Bitcoin journey.
And I don't fundamentally believe in it.
So there's high volatility and speculation, mega speculation in many conventional investments.
It's relative. So exactly.
Okay.
I know of people who do not invest in equities because they're too speculative. They're not prepared to take the risk. And for some of them, it's because they got burned, with the internet bubble or at some other point. So all they buy are bonds and GICs.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out. Each person needs to assess what is their risk tolerance level.
Yeah. And this is through the roof. You can take 2%, 5% of your portfolio and put it into Bitcoin as a flyer and say, hey, I'm just going to take a chance on this. In 10 years, it's going to go to 1,000 times this thing. Or you could decide not to. And for me, that's not an investment that I'm willing to make because, again, fundamentally, to me, it's based on nothing. It's based, by the way, each transaction, I don't know if it's faster now, but it takes about 10, 15 minutes. Maybe it's less now because every transaction has to be put onto the peer-to-peer network, and there's got to be a result out of that blockchain, and that result is what now causes that transaction to be finalized.
Yeah, it's not as efficient today. Today it's not as efficient.
Is it 10, 15 minutes?
I don't know the exact
because it was around
amount
that
of time. But over time, I believe that blockchain will actually become more efficient than the established
right now
trading system.
It's microseconds or milliseconds in the traditional banking system.
And blockchain will get there.
Yeah. So now, if you're paying for something, so let's just play this out. If you're at a counter at a store and you're paying something with blockchain, that payment does not go through for 10 or 15 minutes. The reality, it doesn't get stamped and processed as a transaction on the blockchain for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. To me, that's an issue with day-to-day transactions. You can't pay for your coffee in Bitcoin.
So to the best,
You couldn't anyway. So
to the best of my knowledge,
that's not how cryptocurrencies are currently used.
not for
Okay,
coin
Which isn't to
transactions.
say that.
But that's
in
not
the-
so is that a currency then? If you can't use it to buy your groceries?
Yes, there was a time when you couldn't buy anything in this world.
So you
a
wanna
good
go
or a-
back
wait a
100
second.
years?
No, not 100 years.
Okay.
So you go back 50, 70, 75 years. We didn't have credit cards.
Okay, you had to write a check, and it had to
Okay.
pass a week
so,
later.
So things evolve.
Speaking of credit cards, there's no cryptocurrency credit cards, is there?
There probably is. I'm
I'm not.
No,
probably
it defies the concept.
Well, why would
No,
it?
there probably are. I'm sure there's a company that's a clearinghouse and that's using Bitcoin
think
as a
so?
payment. I'll look it up after.
I
but
would have to believe that it's done through purely digital means. I know when you say credit cards, there's a physical object called a credit card.
Well, there's a
yeah.
company that's going to loan
So-
you money based on.
Yeah.
Based on the
Can
income,
it,
based
can
on
it be done?
tangibles.
Can it be done through digital apps? Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you need a piece of plastic?
No, but
No.
the
You pay most things through your watch or phone, don't you?
yeah, but it's based on his revenue. It's based on what the money that he has, the line of credit that he has, whatever. It's based on
Actually, that would solve the problem of the transaction speed.
Oh, you're still on
Now
the
that I think
transaction
about it, maybe
speed.
we should start that company.
No,
guys,
no.
That's my idea. If anyone starts that company,
You're looking at the front end. It still is part of a peer-to-peer network.
I know the back end takes 10 minutes, but the front end could be immediate through the through that credit card, and then you can buy your groceries with them.
No.
That's a business opportunity.
No,
Come
the
on.
front end has to be connected to the back end.
Yeah.
No, but that's the risk that company is taking.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what they're-
right. So
That's,
they're gonna,
that's
okay,
what-
they're
that-
going to take that risk. I don't think so.
Well,
Not today.
it's your credit limit, so
Well, they'll have to have access
on
to your.
board.
They'll have to have
Anyway,
access
it's
to your wallet.
not. It's
how is that your idea?
It's not
gonna work, I'm
intended-
telling you.
It's not intended at this point in time for everyday
Yeah.
transactional activity.
But that's
not
mean,
what it's currently
so
intended.
Then that means it's not real currency. It's not.
Oh my
It's not
gosh.
traditionally available currency. If you want to buy a car, that's great because it's a large transaction and it can take 15, 20 minutes. You could wait for the salesperson to see that transaction go through the blockchain. But when you're out buying a coffee, it doesn't work. So for some things it works and for others it doesn't. Is that correct?
currently.
And you think that's going to come down in speed and time?
Oh, for sure.
I think the
Because-
opposite. Hang on,
because
the more
governments-
the more people use it, the more complex these transactions have to be globally because
Go-
it's a peer-to-peer network, right?
Naren,
Yes.
governments
Okay.
around the world, the world's largest banks, traditional financial institutions,
You think they're going to put all those resources?
they have vested interest in moving towards digital currencies,
their own.
and they will. Well, they're going to try and wrestle control away.
Of course. So why would they help Bitcoin? That's my point.
You're talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about cryptocurrency in generic
But let's
terms.
talk about the biggest one, the one that most people use.
We can have that conversation.
Well, okay, let's talk about Bitcoin. Do you think Bitcoin
So-
is ever going to get below a certain speed of transaction that's going to be useful for day-to-day transactions?
Bitcoin, no. I think Bitcoin, for the foreseeable future, I see it as predominantly being a store of value and a currency that is used in
Criminal acts.
criminal activities.
What a great thing to have brought to this planet. Fantastic.
There was a time when
Welcome
there was a time when alcohol
Stop.
there was a time when alcohol trade in places like the U.S. was a criminal activity in Canada
right.
as well.
Wasn't it
And people
Kennedy's?
made the Kennedys, the Bronfmans, they made fortunes.
They
Exactly.
did.
Yeah.
So things change over time.
Okay. So your main
I
argument.
don't want to confuse issues. For the record, I don't invest in cryptocurrency. It's too volatile. It's too risky. I don't have that level of tolerance or that appetite or greed, level of greed.
But you believe in it as a legitimate currency moving forward.
Can't ignore it. No, I
that's
believe
not-
in it.
So
I
you do believe in it
yes.
as a legitimate currency.
Yes, I believe blockchain is going to become a mainstream system through which we transact, and cryptocurrency is going to be the currency through which blockchain transactions are settled in the future.
Well, blockchain is already an acceptable norm. I
But
mean,
no,
used-
it's not widespread. It's
So,
still fairly
what are the
limited.
rules? From what you've explained, what you've studied? What's your understanding of the rules of this? So, how many cryptocurrencies can be
Anyone
created?
can start
You,
one.
you and I can invent one today.
Exactly, anyone can, and now you can ask AI to do another 20 million of them tomorrow.
Romeo boy.
So at one point, if you have you flood the market with cryptocurrencies.
Well, it's already happened. There's I don't know
How many are there? I mean-
hundreds, thousands. I don't know. There's tons of them.
Time.
And Bitcoin is still valued at $90,000 US. Last time we
Yeah.
Well, last time I checked, it was actually knocking on the $100,000.
Yeah, it came down to
threshold.
closer to 90 in these past few days,
Yeah.
but whatever. Yeah.
So what prevents from I don't know. I mean the oversupply in this market, like any other market, collapsing.
No. Because you gotta mine it.
No, you. So look, like most resources, the more infinite they are, the less value they have.
Exactly.
The more finite they are, the greater value they have.
Right.
So one of the attractive elements of Bitcoin is the degree to which it's a finite resource. And that is in part why people have attached such high value to it. Now, it's fluctuated significantly over time. But if you go back, say, 14 years, you can buy a Bitcoin for hundreds of dollars. Over the course of the last 5 years, we've seen it range anywhere from 10,000 to 97,000 US. And during the course, it hasn't gone from 10,000 to 97,000, right? There have been significant ups and downs.
What makes it finite?
The creator
code.
of the Bitcoin,
Code.
the creator of the Bitcoin has limited, so people have to mine. So it's like a precious metal.
And we don't know who the creator is, by
Like
the
a
way,
precious
right?
Well, people
That's-
have
that's all-
ideas.
There's a lot of speculation.
People
The
have
person has
ideas.
remained anonymous.
Yeah.
And that too. I mean, why would the person remain anonymous?
Because of the amount of
Wow.
Bitcoin that they have in their wallet. That's why.
if there's
They're billionaires, whatever. It's a bunch of money.
Too many shadows.
In the, what was it, Satoshi? What, I forget.
Yeah,
in
it's a
Japan?
Japanese.
Yeah, it's a name.
Well, that's
It's a name.
Could
yeah.
be anyone.
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah, there's some. I've read some
The
stuff.
fact is, a lot of speculation. No one really knows for sure.
And it's getting close to the end, or closer to the end, and it's more difficult to mine your Bitcoin because there's less of them to mine. It's just part of the code that was written initially, and that's part of the.
I know.
So-
And by the way,
Code-based.
for people like yourself and others who are very concerned with climate change and its implications,
of course, I know
Right?
it's a.
I mean, mining for coins is
Well, that's where Ethereum did
mine-
right.
yeah.
So Ethereum went from work-based to something else to I forget the term, but Ethereum changed over because of that.
yes.
And that was interesting, but I don't know.
It was
what's
also a
going-
messy transition.
yeah,
I
but
recall.
and I don't know what happened with Ethereum because I haven't really been following it.
It's over. Almost over.
Well, it's not over.
No.
It's not over, but it doesn't have the same
not-
cachet.
Well, that's it. And again, it went from work-based to something else based. And like I said, I forgot. But
I had a friend who was mining it
really,
in his garage.
my son was mining Bitcoin back
and
in the beginning.
Then it wasn't worth it anymore. So
Yeah, he made a few like point whatever,
Yeah.
0.00 whatever of a Bitcoin at one
that's
point.
it. So it wasn't. But
Aki, fractional ownership. Go for it.
There you go.
to me, is
You don't even have a single coin.
even though I'm a finance guy, I never understood it 100%. And that's why I stay away. It's not because I'm adverse to risk. Yeah, I mean,
So, as an accountant, what do you make of it?
I don't like it because I think we already have digital currency,
Right.
sort of.
So, as an accountant, what do you think of blockchain technology and
That I
blockchain
like.
systems?
That I like.
Okay.
Like, for example, NFTs, I understand. Those,
Do you
there's
think NFTs have any value?
some of them do. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, for example,
Because somebody perceives.
no, because you can sell a trademark through an NFT. So
Well, that's selling the trademark.
exactly,
It's not the NFT.
But it's easier to do it through an NFT because it's more globally available, or you can put it out there. So it's kind of
Okay, but-
Actually,
selling-
no.
So-
Sorry, you're not selling the trade.
No.
So yeah, it's not. I think we're talking two separate things here. The NFT is just
Well,
is a blockchain stamp that says, "Hey, you now own this picture or whatever."
Exactly.
You're not selling the trademark to
well,
that
not
person.
the trademark. For example, a slogan or something, you can put it on a picture.
Yeah, but the
No,
only thing the NFT
it's
is
a digital
is that-
representation.
Exactly.
It's a token
Yeah.
It's a token.
that is digital in nature.
Yeah.
So
It's a string of numbers that says, hey, you have this thing.
Yeah.
So here's what I don't like. And again, while recognizing the legitimacy of cryptocurrency, what I don't like about cryptocurrency, what I don't like about NFTs is that it's open scamming season.
Yeah.
The number of people
Yeah.
Well, of course.
who are being lured in through the promise of instant and great riches,
Yeah. How about the Bored Ape?
who
whatever,
understand absolutely nothing about any of this, but because of the promise that you're going to get rich quick,
Yeah, they'll put.
they
their-
dive in head first.
Look at Justin Bieber with the
But
Bored
we-
Apes.
And these are not, highly educated, financially
Bieber.
literate individuals who are knowingly taking risks.
But
These are individuals, oftentimes with very limited resources, who are losing literally their shirts.
For a rich get rich quick scheme.
right. But isn't that
People are so naive.
But yeah, but we saw that in history, in financial history. I mean, the Great Depression at one point, right? The famous parable when what was it? Joseph Kennedy was having his shoes shined in New York City, and he was the shoe shine boy was talking to him about the market. That was just before the Great Depression, and he concluded. I mean, if shoe shine boys are investing in the market, I'm pulling out. Right. So there is this common thread
True
here.
story.
Yes, but because human nature doesn't change,
Yeah.
that event has been repeated over the
And
course
we're
of the
seeing
past
it now.
century,
Yeah, there you go.
and we fall into the same trap.
Yeah. Internet bubble.
So you're for cryptocurrency, but you're against NFTs. You're against cryptocurrencies, but you're for NFTs. Okay, I'm against both.
Raise everything.
So when you say for and against, I would start with the question we first posed, recognizing the legitimacy.
And I don't.
Whether you're for or not, as I said, I personally do not invest in cryptocurrencies.
Because you recognize that they're highly speculative in nature,
And as a result, highly volatile.
and you're not a criminal,
Not yet.
as far as we know.
No. I'm not trading in arms. I'm not trading in
No fentanyl sales
activities.
recently.
I'm not hiring hitmen.
No,
I'm not,
no human trafficking.
No, none of
Okay.
that.
Wow,
None of that.
You're nicer than I thought.
I'm such a boring dude. What can I
There you
say?
go.
Yeah, but that's the point, right? I mean, not the boring point, not the boring dude part, but the point of what the currency is used for. I mean, just the fact that it's only used for that, or
Predominantly.
largely used
Yeah.
for those types of transactions, shouldn't that in itself cause you to ask for regulation? I mean, you're laughing at regulation, which I don't like regulation either.
I don't laugh at regulation.
No, but
I
you're-
react negatively to over-regulation.
Okay, but what's
I never
over-regulation?
said that monetary units in any form should not be regulated
So you're
I never
for
said that.
regulation of Bitcoin.
of all cryptocurrencies.
Okay, so before that wasn't clear in what you said
Oh, no,
before.
it was clear.
It was.
Yeah. Oh, to me it was.
So you believe that there should be regulation of
Yes.
cryptocurrencies
I said the fact that regulators are now rallying around
Yeah.
this issue.
is a good thing.
That's not what I said.
That's what I mean.
What I said is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is it lends legitimacy
Exactly.
to cryptocurrency.
I see. Okay. Well,
And yes, I believe that it does need
That's
to be
a-
Yeah,
regulated.
he thinks it's legitimate, but it needs to be regulated, which is good.
There's a line that shouldn't be crossed, and you say, what is overregulation?
Right.
Yeah.
We have to look at it by industry. So whether it's financial services, whether it's
fair enough.
insurance, whether
Thank
it's-
you very much.
right, we have to look.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but let's not default on let's go overboard
Welcome.
in regulating industry.
Let's have that conversation.
But you know what? We will prevent M&As because we are the protector of the consumer. Give me a frickin' break.
exactly.
there we go.
Let the market do its thing.
Okay, so that clarifies, and thank you. I was
Yes, thank you.
I didn't understand it that way. So
But do you think one day it's going to become the currency for the world and there'll be no more
What?
cryptocurrency?
Okay, well, cryptocurrency is not a currency. It's a form of currency.
Okay.
So do I believe cryptocurrency, digital currency will become widespread? Absolutely.
yeah, but digital currency based on transactions or digital currency based on the backing of a government. There's a difference.
Government, look, the European Union, the United States of America, China, all the main economic powers on this planet are going to get involved and bring regulation to this particular sector of industry.
Okay.
It's inevitable.
But
And so they, along with the large traditional financial institutions, are not going to leave this whole area of opportunity untouched. Right? Now, they're doing it under the guise of we want to protect consumers. And I'm not saying that there isn't any truth to that.
Okay.
But they're doing it mostly for self-serving reasons.
as most people do.
They
Okay.
want control.
Yeah.
They want control. And so, yes.
But it might be mutually beneficial.
So the U.S. government, in addition to the traditional greenback, will come up with a digital currency,
DUSD.
right? Countries like Canada will do the same, and China will do the same. The European Union will do the same. Every major country in the world is going to do the same.
But it'll be backed by that country
Right.
in the sense of monetary policy.
Now,
Thank you.
There is an opportunity, which I don't think any of them will jump on, to say, why don't we pool our resources
Oh, my God.
and define a digital currency that
Global.
will, at the very least, well, global from the standpoint that why don't the G7 nations get together and say, why don't we tackle this together?
Well, that's called
Yep.
Bitcoin.
No, I said the G7 nations get together.
Okay. Well, yeah. So why don't we just all use Bitcoin? Because that's, it's the global currency.
Well,
then. And
governments
it's
are not
one.
going to take something that already exists.
I know.
Right?
But
It's an interesting thought.
that is because
Yeah.
we just came full circle.
That's
with
not
that
very.
thought.
That's not very promising because the G7 nations also were supposed to get together to look at tax evasion and tax loopholes.
Yeah.
And that's not going anywhere because it's an for certain countries it's a big economic
Yeah,
policy.
and
It could
NATO
be a
can't
tax
spend
haven.
2%
So,
and
so
whatever.
probably it's going to be the same politics around this as well.
Yeah, and look, and it would go against the current trend of nationalism. Everyone's looking
Well, that's
after its
another
own
issue.
interests.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beating your own
Especially as tariffs are in the wings.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, anything else we want to add on this particular topic?
chest. Cryptocurrency, stay the fuck away from it. As far as I'm concerned, to me, it's based on nothing. Hey, 20 years from now, or 10 years from now, 5 years from now, it may be proven very, very wrong. But in my opinion, again, foundationally, it's not based on anything. It's a computer program that's being run globally. Not worth it, in my view.
Totally agree. I don't get it. I don't get it 100%. So if I don't understand, I stay away.
Well, the way I see it, shadowy backers, disrespect for accounting principles. I think it's voodoo economics.
Wrong and
Yeah.
wrong.
So I disagree with you entirely. So I think of
How can
games.
you agreed with me?
I know, but the two things you said were wrong.
Yeah, we're wrong.
But that's okay. Your result, your
You agree with me?
No, what you said, no.
Disregard for accounting principles? There's no disregard for accounting
absolutely
principles in this?
No,
Most accountants see significant value in blockchain systems.
Blockchain systems, yeah, I do. But,
Well, blockchain systems, the means
yeah,
of
you
transacting is
But-
going to be digital currency.
the back-
well, the outcome is a digital coin that comes out of the word.
originator is a simple guy, some guy that wrote a program,
Yeah, well, and why? Anyway, I
wasn't
still don't
simple.
understand. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
No, but
understand
he-
why you'd like to stay in the shadows when
But he wasn't
you're
that-
such a trendsetter,
Yeah, but
a
we can't-
financial trendsetter, and you don't want.
It's because he
very
has
strange.
billions of dollars
Is there
of
even
coins.
such a thing? Is there
he
even
has
such a thing?
billions of dollars of coin in a wallet somewhere, and he doesn't want the world to know who he is and how much wealth he has. Well, they know how much wealth he has. They just don't know who
Is
he
this
is.
is this fact or is it mythology?
No, it's
is
real.
what factor mythology?
That there is a single person that
Yes,
has
of
started
course. And
this-
he holds a wallet
that
that has
started Bitcoin.
significant Bitcoin in
Okay.
it.
Because the
I
wallet,
just find it incredible
Because the
that-
wallet doesn't have an ID to it, So
Yeah,
But
it's a
there's an
physical-
originator for everything.
Yeah, and it's a physical guy that could have a USB stick that has like $100 billion on it. I don't know how much Bitcoin he has, honestly, but people do. I don't know if it's 10,000 or
or the guy
100,000.
that
These are estimates.
That's it. But they know that person, that wallet has that money because it's blockchain and it's public. So that person doesn't want to be known to have billions of dollars of blockchain of Bitcoin. That's why they don't want their name to be put out because they don't want their family to be targeted and so on. There's a good reason why Satoshi or whatever his name is doesn't want to come out.
The 21st century voodoo economics. That's my last word.
Okay.
There you go.
So we went through an entire session without discussing Elon Musk, right?
Dogecoin.
We're slipping. I'm slipping.
Good on
Elon.
When,
Gotta pick up our
when the
game.
world's richest man, and not by a small margin, right,
Doge.
promotes and gives legitimacy to crypto, then you better pay attention.
I think he's just having fun with it.
You
Yeah.
better, well, he may be, but in the process.
By the way, he sold a lot of his Bitcoin or cryptocurrency holdings recently. He's divested in
why
a lot
wouldn't
of them.
he?
Exactly.
He was also allowing Tesla automobiles to be purchased
bought, at one point
through Bitcoin.
Yeah, and
Didn't work
Dogecoin.
out so well for them, but it's
between
okay.
between Elon Musk and Warren Buffett, I'm a Warren Buffett man.
Are you?
Yep.
Does he know that?
I hope. Has he not subscribed?
He has not.
Mr.
To
Buffett.
the best of our knowledge.
Come
he
on,
has not.
Pat.
Apparently, he's busy with other activities.
Come on.
Exactly.
Come on. Good capitalist business people. Make sure Mr. Buffett tunes in.
So three of us agree, and Pat, you're the dissenter in the.
Well, I'm a
crowd.
dissenter in terms of legitimacy. There are a number of points that have been raised that I agree with.
Okay, fair enough.
But legitimacy, yeah, absolutely. I see
So-
cryptocurrency as being legitimate.
So, do you think our viewers and our listeners should be delving into Bitcoin?
No, I didn't say that.
Don't.
I didn't say that.
I just asked a
You
question.
don't go there.
No, because I advise most people
Mm-hmm.
on this planet that care about my opinion not to take unnecessary risks as it pertains to their finances.
There you go.
I don't know many multi-billionaires. In fact, I don't think I know any multi-billionaires.
Neither do I. I think I
and-
do actually one.
And if you're not incredibly wealthy, be prudent. Be prudent. Don't waste the money you've worked so hard to earn over the years.
Okay, but
Invest it wisely.
the flip side of what you're saying now is that if you are somebody that's very comfortable with high level of risk, high volatility, it's a legitimate vehicle.
But he's right.
So
in that case.
I go back to a comment.
He's right in that case, though.
Go back to a comment Nuran made earlier. If someone who has a net worth, liquidity, say, of 10 million US, were to tell me I'm buying a Bitcoin, a singular Bitcoin, I would say I wouldn't, but I understand what's luring you. And for your sake, I hope that the value goes up.
Yeah, it's purely speculative, but as long as it's a very small portion of your portfolio.
By the
and
way,
you know
I don't advise people to go to the casino. As you know, I don't advise people to buy lottery tickets. So I'm not going to change.
Or go to church or
I'm not-
synagogue.
I don't see how that ties into finance.
just-
but
You're
right, so
you're sage
so I'm
advice.
certainly not going to advise people to invest in cryptocurrencies.
There we go.
Too risky for most.
At least the lottery is backed by a paper.
On that note,
That's the last,
For most,
last word.
it may as well be
the
toilet
last
paper.
word.
All right, guys, interesting conversation.
Yes, thank you, guys.
To our audience, we'd love to know what you think of cryptocurrency, legitimate or not. Any other thoughts, comments you may have, we welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us this week. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
thanks, guys.